What's up, everybody? I'm Rick,
And I'm Anna.
and welcome to our review of Erased. Anna, we just finished this anime, pretty short one, 12 episodes, as
Right.
part of our goal to watch 101 anime. This was anime number 3, but it's actually the first one we've completed.
Right, because the other ones are much longer.
Yeah. So we thought we're just gonna go over it, do a review, a bit in the style of the reviews we do for our movies on this channel. So the way this is going to go is that we're gonna get into a general review first, like our general thoughts. Then I want to talk about more specifically animation, characters, story, and then after all of that, a special section where we compare Erased to Life is Strange, which is a game we've also
Yes.
played on this channel, and there are a
You
lot
can
of
also find the review for that game on this channel.
there are a lot of similarities and differences. So I want to explore some of that, but of course we're gonna be spoiling Erased in this review, and when we get to the Life is Strange part, we're also gonna be spoiling Life is Strange. So beware. So like I said, first off, general thoughts. Anna, what are your general thoughts about this anime?
I mean,
Did you like it?
I really liked it, yes. I liked that it was very, focused. It was condensed. It really felt like there was, one story. It doesn't need to continue. It doesn't, have anything that happened before. It's just the story that they had to tell, and they told it in 12 episodes. And
You're
it worked
in, you're
really well.
out, you
Yeah.
get everything you need. You don't
Exactly.
feel like, there should be another season to complete all of this. No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
complete.
it's
Yeah.
complete. Yeah, you really feel that. And 12 episodes of anime is not too long to watch, so it's great.
Yeah. I also liked it. It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time, trying to figure out what was happening, who was the culprit, because this is a
Yes.
mystery type anime. They're looking for a killer, and so we were terrorizing the whole time.
Yeah.
I think that's also part of the experience. That also made it more enjoyable for us to take a break every now and then and be like, wait a minute, what's happening, and who's the real culprit here? That
And
all.
sometimes we would change our mind even several times during one episode, so that
yeah.
really works so well.
So general thoughts, we both enjoyed this anime. That was a good first one to finish. It's not the first one we started, but the first one to finish, which I picked specifically because it was well regarded and short. So good choice, no?
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. Good choice. Bravo.
Bravo to the animation team, which is our next topic. What did you think of the animation more specifically?
I really liked it. I thought it looked really well in general. I really liked the colors. Like, it wasn't too bright. It really made you feel like in a mystery kind of setting all the whole time. So that was really nice, I think.
As I was watching, I was reminded of a movie we watched earlier this year, Little Women, which also happens in two different plane of time, like past and present slash future, and how they used color in order for you to easily be able to differentiate which time period you were in while you were watching. And I thought they might have been able to do something more in that regard here. Like, there is the obvious elements that makes you realize that you're in the past. Everybody's a kid.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't necessary
Yeah.
here because you could tell what time you are in. Whereas in the movie, you just jump from one scene to another with the same actors.
Yeah, you might
playing
get
the character,
confused.
so,
But it's
yeah.
just like a aesthetic touch that I thought was...
Yeah, it would have been
uh,
nice, but they haven't really done it. I don't think so.
Yeah, it wasn't really necessary again, because you can tell everybody's a kid in the past, and the season is different too.
They did play with light though in certain scenes, I feel. Like the deeper, more serious scenes what usually happen at night and they're darker, and I like how they played with the shadows. They really made it feel like a mystery drama type of a setting. Whereas the more lighthearted scenes, they usually happen like
During the
during
day.
the day and in the sunlight, and you can see a difference there.
Hmm.
Like with the kids playing around outside.
Yeah.
Um,
All in all, it was beautiful, and yeah, nothing bad to say about the animation per se in this particular case. So let's move on to our characters. So we have several characters here. I want to start though with Satoru, the main character.
right.
What did you think of him? Did you feel like he was, interesting enough, or is he just there in order to make the action?
No, I think he was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting how they depicted him in the present or future, whatever, like when he's an adult. You really get the feeling that he's a person who was missing something in his life, you know? And going back in time is what gave him the chance to get that something back. And in the beginning, you don't really get what it is, but by the end, you understand.
Yeah, because I was asking the question because in a lot of animes, the main character seems to be there for the sole purpose of moving the action forward, or being the blank slate for the audience, or being the perfect character who doesn't have really any flaws, and which a character with no flaw is not really a character, doesn't make him real. So yeah, I do think he's interesting in that regard because he does have flaws. He's not perfect. He goes back in the past several times, fails
Yeah.
to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish, doesn't understand what he's trying to accomplish, and until the end, until like episode 10, doesn't even know who the real culprit is in all of this.
Right, and it's curious that in the beginning, it's not even his focus. His focus is just to save the people, but not to
To catch the murderer.
catch the murderer,
Yeah.
right?
But Satoru is not the only character we have here. There's a group of people around him, first of which Kaio, who is trying to save. You were just talking about her right now. I also feel is a very interesting character with a great evolution. Because when she starts out, obviously she's always alone. Her mother is abusing her. And as things goes on, as Satoru makes friends with her and the other kids makes friends with her, you can see a change in her attitude and her way of seeing life up until the climax where she's an adult with a baby and she's happy. I really liked her story arc as a character.
Yeah, I thought it worked great, but going back to Satoru in relation to Kaio as a character, I find it very interesting that when he goes back in time the first time, his only focus is to save her, right? He doesn't want to let her die. But I feel like by the end, we kind of get the feeling that all of those pieces of this like mystery puzzle, who killed her, who was the murderer, what happened like 18 years ago in his hometown, all of the pieces of these puzzles were always there in his mind. And that's the thing that was missing in his life, is that he felt like something went on back then, but he never really grasped the situation, what actually happened. And going back and trying to fix it makes him like fix that thing that was missing
In his own
in
life.
his own life, which was that he could have done something just to help those people.
Or he felt like he should have done
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because he was a kid, to expect him
Right.
to do anything
Yeah,
would be a bit much. And of course, the best character, the mom.
Oh yeah, I loved the mom. I felt like she was like the perfect character for this, like mom character for this situation. She always knew what was going on, even when she didn't know exactly. She always had a strong feeling about what is going on, and when she knew like what her son was doing, she trusted him so much, but she never like tried to interfere. She let him come to her. And then when he came to her, she just helped him and accepted whatever happened. Like when he came to her door with a kid that with Kaio, whom he had kidnapped from home.
Yeah.
She had been gone for days.
She's
She
like,
didn't,
oh,
like-
I thought this was happening.
Yeah, exactly. And like, oh sure, come in, you
Yeah.
guys. And it's just it's nice.
She was one step ahead of them, actually, because she had bought like pajamas for Kaio and
Right.
made food. She knew like exactly
Yeah.
what was happening. Now she's great, and especially at the end when you see that like Satoru was in a coma for 15 years, and every day she would make him do exercise. She would look over him, presumably switch city, switch job in order to better take care of him. Like now, the mom, MVP character in
Right.
this show.
Yeah. I really liked her. But there is one more character that we should talk about.
Oh, you mean
Yeah, I mean,
the teacher? Yes.
yeah, I really liked how they built that character.
Mm.
Because for the whole anime, he doesn't really give a hint, but you still suspect him because of the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But at every point when they show the teacher, you're like, wait, but he's actually nice. Like,
Yeah.
can it really be him? But it doesn't make sense. There can be no other killer than him. He's the only one who fits.
Mm.
But then the character himself doesn't give away anything.
Anything, even when like
anything.
Satoru would be like, "Yeah, I was in that secret hideout and there was a killer."
Yeah.
He doesn't budge. He's like,
Right.
"Oh, right, okay." You know, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it can't be him." You would have had like some type of twitch, some type of tick,
exactly,
a reaction.
anything. Even the scene with the candies, which is the scene that really made us think the most that, oh, it has to be him. But like the way he reacted in that scene, I was like, it's an obvious clue, but he acts so natural and he gives the right response, you know?
He has an answer ready for
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like, but at the end it's him. And
Yeah.
you're like, ah.
Of course it was him.
Of course
Yeah.
it was him, but he was so good. It's as if it was a real like action movie,
Mm.
you'd be like, that actor was so good
Mm.
at playing innocent.
Yeah.
You know?
That can be a double-edged sword though. It can come off as, wait, this come out of nowhere. There's no way this is him because there is no hint that it was him before. But there were hints.
But there were hints.
Exactly.
But he was so good at, giving the answer to everything
Yeah.
that it made you doubt, even when the hints were there. Like, wow.
And then
so
at the
good.
end, he tells Satoru the reasons for his action, and also that whole part with the 15-year gap of him watching over Satoru for all that time, waiting for him to wake up. I found like kind of even transformed his character furthermore and made him interesting on another level, which is that now, after spending all this time watching over Satoru, waiting for him to wake up, his identity, his life was linked to Satoru's life so much that he didn't know how to live
I
without
found it-
him anymore.
Yeah, I found it interesting that they didn't really give him like a backstory that people, or that like, but for me personally, that I could like relate to. You can tell that he was a psychopath.
Oh yeah,
You know,
because he tells a
he's-
story. When I was a kid, I killed
Yeah,
these
exactly.
guinea pigs.
Exactly.
You know.
And it makes sense, like you understand it, you understand where the story comes from and his process of thinking and everything. But it's not that kind of a story where like, oh yeah, I understand why you did that, like you had this terrible past or something, whatever, you know. That's not how it is. No, it's a psychopath with his,
Yeah.
focus on
And his
murdering people.
twisted view of the world, you know,
Yeah.
his whole analogy with the web going to heaven, and he
Right.
has to cut the web off of people, which I thought was interesting. And maybe we can transition here towards our talking about the story, more in general. Before we get into details, did you like the story?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was really good. Really well made, really well planned for a mystery story, you know?
Yeah.
Really well done.
And for a time travel story, this can go wrong
Oh, yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Like it can start making no sense very quickly. But here everything like still fits within the confine of the rules they established. By the end, you're not like, oh, wait a minute. But no, there isn't any mistakes or glaring mistakes that I've noticed in terms of the time travel elements. Again, time travel is not real, so
Yeah.
to me, as long
Not
as you
yet.
to me, as long as you stay within the confine of the rules you yourself establish with this science fiction or supernatural thing, then it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of the rules of time travel, more generally the story, very well made. It's a regular mystery, you know, who did it type of thing. There's a murderer on the loose. We have to catch him. And to put the stakes so high at the beginning with his mother dying and him being on the run from the police, you're already involved like at the maximum amount that you can be. You're like, oh my god, he has to do something. He has to save the mom. She's the
Right.
best.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You get that from the beginning that the mom
Yeah.
is the best. Like you really want her to not die at the end.
Yeah. And so like right away you're hooked, but then it gets much calmer. You remember we were very surprised, like by episode 3, everything calmed down,
Yeah.
from the high
It
of
was
the
just like
episode 1.
the kids at home, with the mom.
Playing around.
Yeah, kids at school. It's like so much more chill.
Yeah.
And it feels like even the stakes of their, mission or his mission was not as high anymore. It was just, I have to keep this girl safe, like
Yeah.
to keep her next to me. It feels like it got reduced to, something more elementary.
Yeah, it's something that you can grasp more than a like murder who spans like 20 years
Yeah, exactly.
or less than that. But also it gives some sort of tension to the whole thing because everything is calm. The kids are playing together. He's trying to make friends with Kaio. All these like mundane elements, and you still feel in the back of your mind. You still remember there's a killer,
Yeah.
and so you know something bad's about to happen.
Right. And like while the kids are playing there or doing whatever, someone's watching them, someone's after them.
Yeah. And so to me, the story was masterfully made in order to make you go through all of these emotions, go through all of these stages of the anime, between the high of episode 1, the calmness of like episode 2, 3, etc. But then the stress of knowing something's gonna happen. When something does happen, Kaio isn't saved the first time he goes back in the past.
Yeah.
Like you go back into panic mode, he goes back into the future and the police is after him. Like the roller coaster this makes you go through is like perfectly engineered, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, I agree.
Any story element in particular that you liked? I know we haven't talked much about like his life in the future with
Airi?
yeah.
I think what I like the most about like his story in the future is just that you see this change, right? Because in the beginning, his adult self was so like didn't really have a direction in life. Yeah, he knew what he wanted to do, but he didn't know how to do it right, which was to be a manga artist. That's what he wanted to do, and he felt like he had a hard time following his dream or even knowing exactly what it is that why is it that he wants to do that, what it is that he actually wants to do through his like writing, and you see it compared to at the end his adult self who like has a successful life, well, in the realm of what he wanted to do. Like he becomes a manga artist and he has like assistants and everything, and it doesn't really change much. He's still doing the same thing. It's just that like his life feels more complete.
Yeah.
And like more.
And in the end, he's still reunited with Ari, regardless of the fact that they hadn't met before at a pizza job or anything like that, which kind of makes it feel like a fate a little bit, that they had to meet.
There's also the big difference that in the beginning, his adult self didn't actually have any friends.
Yeah.
He was alone. Whereas in like at the end of the anime, all of his friends are there. The friends that he made in school, he kept those connections, and he's much more, surrounded by people who care about him and about whom he cares.
Yeah, a lot of the anime was about loneliness and trying to combat that and making friends, making connection. Don't let people that you see around you who are lonely, who are bullied, go through that. Make a step towards that. And it comes back several times because that's the way through which he can solve everything. The first time he fails to save Kaio
because he tries to do it alone.
Yeah. But then the second time it works more because he asks his friends. And then when he comes back in the future after his coma, again, with the help of his friends and his family, he's able to catch the murderer. So, like, there's a strong message throughout the entire anime of loneliness and how to fight it. And so to me, that was also very interesting. I brought up Ari because I thought, like, maybe she was a bit underutilized. She felt like she would have been a much more important character at the beginning, but
at the beginning it felt like she'd be part of the story, but she only appears like
sporadically, yeah. And And I thought she was nice. She was an interesting character too.
Yeah, I really liked her.
Yeah. So I would have loved to see a bit more of her. That might be my one gripe with all of this. But all in all, great story.
Yeah.
So Anna, let's get to our comparison with Life is Strange. So if you haven't played Life is Strange, we're gonna spoil Life is Strange right now.
I played Life is Strange.
Yeah. Which is why we were gonna talk about that because there are so many similarities here.
Well, yeah, well, first of all, obviously, it's a time travel story.
Yeah. But more specifically, the power of one person who has the power to go back in time in order
Right.
to change
To
things.
change things, exactly. One like major common element that I feel appears in both of them, both the anime and the game, is that most of the times the only changes they make are like really short term, a few minutes. You know, like they go back a few minutes trying to change stuff until a major event happens where they go way back into the past, trying to fix everything that came after.
Yeah.
You know.
But in Life is Strange, that doesn't work out. Here it does, which is the main difference. We're going to get to that. But also the fact that in both cases, they're trying to stop murders, you know.
Yes.
Like Chloe is dying in Life is Strange, and here it's Kaio and other people, other kids are getting killed. And so the main goal of the main character is to stop that murder. And so they go back in time to try to fix it. And a similar, like, way, you know, they show the blue butterfly. It's the
Yeah,
whole thing.
that's also I thought that was interesting. Is it something like the blue butterfly?
The imagery, I don't know about the blue, but of course the butterfly is from
Yeah, it's
the
from
butterfly
the
effect.
butterfly effect.
Yeah, but the blue, I'm not sure where that comes from. And of course, one of the biggest similarities in both cases, the murderer was the nice teacher.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And in both cases, they're actually really well made characters because you don't really suspect it for most of the time.
I suspected both of them for most of the time, though.
Yeah, but it's. You did?
Yeah.
Even in Life is Strange? I didn't really.
After Kate died, you remember?
Yeah, but I remember thinking after Kate died, I remember thinking, oh, surely he is somehow involved, but I didn't think right away that he's the
The killer.
the killer. Yeah. Well, for most of the time we didn't even know that there are actually murders happening.
Yeah.
There were just like weird things happening.
I mean, people disappearing, I assumed
Yeah. Well, one person disappeared,
Yeah.
so you assume, yeah,
she's dead.
she's dead. But then that can be related to a lot of different things.
True.
But I didn't know. For most of the time, I didn't suspect the teacher in Life is Strange, and in the anime, in Erased, even when I suspected the teacher, like I said before, it like the way the character was built, it made me doubt it. You know. So I thought that there was really really good storytelling.
We alluded to it. The main difference, of course, is that in Life is Strange, the lesson seems to be you can't change.
Yeah.
Like you can, but you shouldn't.
Right.
You know, let it happen. Let Chloe die. Is the obvious canonical ending. Even if you choose the other ending, it seems like that was one they wanted you to choose.
Yeah.
And so, what did you think of that major difference, that lesson here? We don't see an erase. He does succeed in changing everything.
I mean, if you think about it really, in Erase he does manage to change everything, but at such a high cost.
Of his own
Yeah,
youth.
yeah, exactly. Like he lost, 15 years of his life.
Which he had lived before.
Which he had lived before, but imagine what would have happened if he didn't have those memories. He would just wake up 15 years later and
Yeah, but
everything was different. Like the only soothing element here is the fact that he remembers his other lives in which he did live all of that time. So you don't feel like it's that much of a loss, but still, like the people around him don't know that his mother spent 15 years caring for him while he was in a coma. You know,
Yeah.
it has an impact.
But generally, I would say everybody is happier in
But-
that timeline.
Yeah, true. And if you think about it, in Life is Strange, they also gave the option to change everything, also at a high cost,
Yeah.
but a cost that
But in that case, I don't feel like everybody's happier. It's just you and Chloe are alive and everybody else is dead.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah. And so when I say like there's obviously an ending they would have rather you choose, it's the one in which Chloe die.
Yeah,
Because that seems like the quote unquote right thing to do.
right.
Uh,
Well, it's about like what are the stakes, you know?
yeah.
Because in Life is Strange, the stakes are between a whole town of people dying versus one person dying. Whereas in the anime here, it's like saving the lives of all of these people at the cost of some years of my life, or the main character's life, you know? And maybe causing some extra suffering, but at least nobody dies, right? So it's just about, you know, measuring up the stakes. But it is similar in that sense that you can't change things without
Consequences.
consequences,
Yeah.
yes. It's just a matter of are you ready to pay that price or not?
But what I meant to bring up is that there is not that notion of acceptance, and erase.
Yeah,
Because Life is Strange, a lot of it is about, okay, I have to come to terms with this. Chloe has to die. You have to accept that some things in life, they just happen.
right, yeah.
And erase, that's not the case. He can save everyone, and he does save everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big difference, but
Yeah. But it's surprising how similar the two of these were. Like, as we were watching, I was remembering a lot of Life is Strange. And like, oh my god, yeah.
there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, which is this. It's something that happens at the end of the anime, right? Of Erased, which is when he says, when he like wraps up the story, in a narration voice, and he says, "I've never again had what did he call them?
Revival?
A revival, right? After he woke up from his coma, and it made me think like." This whole thing probably started because of what happened in the past, right, with the kids dying, and he did kind of had this power in order to fix that, even when he wasn't aware of it. Because in the beginning, he thought he's just like saving several people, like a kid being hit by a car or something like this.
Or maybe not in that grand kind of scheme, like, oh, you are given this power to fix that, but rather the power develops because of his strong
yes.
feeling that
he wanted to change something, which is what I wanted to say. It feels like both of these storylines, both Life is Strange and Erased, happen because the characters are at one point in a situation where they think, oh, I wish I could have done something. I wish I could go back and change something,
Yeah.
And because in Life is Strange, the whole thing also starts when Chloe dies the first time. And Max wishes she could help her, right? So then she turns back time and saves her. So in Life is Strange, in Erased, it happens the same way. Like the kids die in the past and he wishes he could have helped them. Even after they die, they show flashbacks of him like testifying to the police.
That Yuki is not the murderer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as an adult, he thinks, I wish I could have like made it more clear. I wish I could have changed it. I wish I could have, made them understand all of those things. So it makes you think we as people are put in that situation a lot. There are so many times in our lives when we're like thinking back on things that we've done or things that have happened. And we think, if I knew then what I know now, I wish I could just go back and change stuff because I know what's the right thing to do. But you can't actually do that, right? But it makes you think, watching playing Life is Strange and watching Erased, do you really want to change things? Because you think you know what's the right thing to do, but you don't know what the consequences.
You don't know the consequence. That's the butterfly effect, you know?
Exactly.
Like, what will happen if I go back and change this one thing? It seems obvious that I should save that person.
Right.
That I should say that thing to that one person. But like, if you do, even if the smallest thing can have the biggest effect, not only on you, but on people around you. And so, yeah. In Life is Strange, it's pushed to a limit in which the whole town dies if you try to go back and save Chloe. Wow. And Erased, it's on a smaller scale. It's for him. And he says it at the beginning. We forgot when we watched episode 1.
Right. Every time I save someone, something happens to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so he also says the consequences are also greater the change I make, or the greater. And so we should have kept that in mind
Yeah.
throughout the whole show, because it's obvious at the end that he paid the big price.
Right. You know, it's like I said, depending on the stakes, you either are ready or you are not ready to pay that price.
But you don't know what the price is, so
True. Well, in Life is Strange, they knew.
yeah.
She knew what the
Only
choices are.
only at the end though.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an interesting story in both cases. So that will be it for our review of Erased. Anna, you loved it.
Yes, I did.
I did too. But now it's time for us to move on to some other anime, or actually watch the other anime that we're already watching.
Right, we're already deep into what is it, Naruto,
Naruto
and My Hero Academia.
Yeah. But eventually, some new anime will pop up to replace all of these as the fourth anime in our list of 101 anime that we want to watch, which itself is part of our bucket list goal to finish 101 anime. Our bucket list of 101 thing that we want to do in our lifetime. This channel is about this bucket list. If you're interested, go check it out and subscribe if you like what you see. Like this video if you did. Comment in the comment section below. Did you like Erased? If so, tell us what you loved or disliked about it. That should be an interesting conversation, and have a nice day.